This is episode 2 of the ANR Design Unholstered podcast with myself, Alex, and I have here today Gerry of Triple Feet. Gerry, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so I'm a man of a lot of different skill sets and crafts and things that I do. So my primary job is, you probably know, Alex, and not too many people in the industry know though, is executive protection. So I've been doing that for, God, 14, 15 years now. But I also am still currently in law enforcement. So I do a little bit of both. Used to be active with LAPD. Now I'm a reserve officer with a smaller agency, still in LA. I don't really disclose which agency I work for, but I do work for an agency as a reserve officer. But I also am 1/3 owners of Triple Feed, which is a media production company, but we also kind of play around with a lot of different things from swag, hats, stickers, patches. Again, our primary focus is media production for different companies, but we don't limit ourselves to just the 2A community. We do a lot of different stuff. For instance, one of the other owners, Luis, which you met during the hog hunt, he was doing a music video yesterday for a rock band local to Vegas. So that's what he was doing yesterday. I mean, we don't limit ourselves to what we do. One of the other products that we launched not too long ago is the DSM Mag Pouch, which I think you own.
I got one right here. I forgot to grab it.
Uh-oh. Oh, look at that ass. You know, I own the same shorts. Rock makes some amazing shorts.
Okay. So the DSM.
Yep.
There we go.
So what you currently have right there is the DSM Molle in Multicam Black. We make 3 variations. The first one being the molle for those of you that have molle placards, either for your plate carriers or for your chest rigs. What I'm noticing is that the molle is a big seller for the military and law enforcement side. More on the civilian sector, I'm seeing a lot more of the flaps, which is compatible with the Tracer Tactical Rig and the Spiritus chassis. And then the last one being the Taco, that one is compatible with the Haley rig. That one's not the most popular seller. However, it's still up there in numbers. But that's our first and only soft good that we've sold. We're kind of tinkering with some other products that I think you're going to be very happy with. As soon as I get them and I'm ready for some T&E, I'll probably send you a few items.
Cool. Very cool. Now, soft goods, outside of smaller stuff, is there anything larger scale that you might get into, or are you going to keep it to niche solutions?
Thinking more on the axle side when it comes to any kind of soft goods. Now, I know they just dropped a belt, so that's more of on the larger side, the larger scale stuff. But we're not, like I said, we kind of dip our hands in everything. So we have no time to just focus on the one primary thing when it comes to soft goods. It's not applicable to what we do. We don't have the expertise, I guess, to be able to do that, and we don't have the infrastructure. So it's really difficult as it is to get the DSMs out to people because we're at the mercy of our cut and sews. So we have the batches, we have the orders, we put them in, and we send them to our cut and sew, and now we just have to wait. And as you know, Alex, currently with the market, cut and sews are all backed up. Yep. They're all backed up because of MMI, Brookwood. They all have their textiles that are all back ordered, or they're just low on staff, or what's the most famous excuse that everybody uses now? Oh, coronavirus. So everybody's delayed because of stuff like that. Now, our lead times aren't ridiculous. They're about on par with everybody else that deals in nylon goods. We're trying to cut that lead time because we're looking for a few other cut and sews. We might be able to send one batch here, one batch there, one batch there. But what we start getting into is quality control issues if we start doing that. If we start outsourcing a lot of different things to a lot of different vendors, not one product's going to be the exact same. So we want to try to limit ourselves to how many cut and sews we use. However, everything is made in the US. Everything is very compliant. So we're not outsourcing anything to China. Not that that's a bad thing or anything. For those of you that do outsource stuff to other countries, I have no problem with that. But we keep our stuff U.S. made.
Cool. And if I actually do have a cut and sew shop, if you that is always looking for work, that is very well equipped. We could talk about that offline. I can make an introduction.
Yeah.
But yeah, I that's one thing that that I'm good at. I'm like the tactical matchmaker. You need a belt, you need this, you need a plate carrier, no, you need armor. I know someone or sell something or whatnot, and it'd be cool. This is a cool product that you sell. It's cool that you're a media company, but you also have a soft line that's kind of parallel growth with Triple Feed. So you're offering something tangible as well as creating digital media for people, which is pretty rad.
Awesome.
If you ever get big enough with those pouches, I would buy and sell them. FYI, if you could give me some okay margins on.
Okay. Margins are always something we could speak about. 100%.
Yeah. So like here at ANR Design, we make holsters and we do optic mounts, but 2021, 2020. So 2020, we decided to open up retail, online retail, really push it hard. And about 50% of our business last year was online retail. So from 100% Kydex manufacturing. So we're always looking for smaller niche solution goods to add to our website. So the DSM is one of those things that I would definitely like to add to the website at some point this year, if possible. I mean, with the Edgar Sherman slings, that was one that we took on last year in January, and we probably sold 3,000 slings this past year. Okay. So I can't complain. We're good at pushing soft lines. We have a fuck ton of people on our email list. So that's something that we're doing. You do limited edition drops too on things.
So yeah, so we've it's funny because we've spoken to, so a little backstory behind the DSM. You've known me now for quite some time. We've known each other through your company. I actually started buying some of your holsters when I was an early day cop. I'm talking like 2 years on the job, and my TOs were pushing hard on me to carry concealed and off duty, and I would, but sometimes I wouldn't have the nicest holsters. I'd have some leather piece of shit holster that I got from Uncle Sam's Tactical Warehouse here in Compton, or some bullshit fucking holster, right? Something that was made in somebody's garage, which I'm not beating on anybody that works hard out of their garage. I mean, that's where a lot of people started. However, when you're years and years of training, you want to get some better gear with you. So I bought one of my first early day holsters. I want to say the first or second company was your company. I looked them up, and you didn't have the large following that you had back then.
And they were being made in my garage.
They were being made in your garage. And I bought one of your holsters, and I liked it, and I ended up buying some of the handcuff holsters that you were selling at the time. And I remember contacting you saying, "Hey, I don't see them on your website." You said, "Yeah, it's not really a item that we sell a lot, but if you want it, yeah, we could slap it on there," or some shit like that. I don't remember exactly how the conversation went, but I remember that you didn't have them on your website, and I had purchased them, and then we had a group of guys on my watch that wanted them. So we ordered a few more, and I started liking your holsters, and then from there it kind of blossomed. We started talking online, and then we finally met a few years back in person at SHOT Show.
Romantic.
Yeah, that's the one thing about SHOT Show is SHOT Show is one of those you hate going, but you love going because you see the people that you love, but then you go and you deal with a lot of bullshit.
Yeah.
So it's a love-hate relationship with SHOT Show in that regard, but we finally met, and it's blossomed from there. But back to the DSM. I'm sorry, I kind of go on a tangent and rabbit holes sometimes. So please stop me if I have diarrhea of the mouth sometimes.
You talk more than me, which is surprising.
I talk a lot. Ask Luis. Luis goes, "God damn, this guy fucking talks forever." I go, just shut me up, dude. I'm on like 7 Ziences and 2 Adderall. I don't do Adderall. Just kidding. So the DSM, if you remember my early days posting and doing shit and doing videos, training videos online and whatnot, you would see me with a canted horizontal fucking mag pouch, and it was always a ferro turnover pouch that I always used to rock. It was just Velcro. I would slap it on the front, and I would say, I want it angled downwards today. I want it angled upwards today. I want it angled horizontal today. And we would fuck with it. And this was something that actually Luis himself came up with. And I had met Luis through a training company. And we just became really good friends from there. And that's where I met Brian Wadke, which is the other member of Triple Feed, B-Dub. And we all met in the same training company, and we all rocked the same similar horizontal mag pouch. And this is something that Luis kind of came up with and said, yeah, it works. And we're like, all right, cool. We started jerry rigging, fucking around with it, and doing all sorts of like weird shit to it. And eventually we met Aaron from Tracer Tactical, and we sat down for hours on end. I'm talking like a month straight, hours on end. No, I want it this way. I want it that way. I want it this way. There's so many revisions. And then it came to be what it is now. And we're really happy with the product. So it's been like almost 5 years of us just tinkering and fucking around with it. And then finally going, we need to make this into something for real.
Awesome. Yeah, man. I swapped out those molle clips for the Blade Tech molle lock. Works great on that carrier.
Awesome.
Okay. I'll have Jorge insert me doing the mag reload on this podcast. So
can I actually see the molle clips or the blade techs? Because I use them for a holster. I don't know if I could actually see. Can you raise it up a little? Oh yeah, dude. Okay, yeah.
You can see it just protrudes just enough, and then once they're locked in there, it doesn't move. There's no shift.
And all you needed was 2?
Yep, I just ran 2.
I love it.
Sorry, I'm running 2 cameras, so I'm looking at my 4K camera, which is like tipped lower, and then this little guy that he's watching me on. But yeah, I have it just clipped in there. And this is a Velocity Systems chest rig. We're doing a project for Velocity Systems right now. That's gonna change the game for chest rigs.
I love it.
Oh, it's made out of Kydex, and it's gonna be cool.
Okay, all right. That's a sneak preview there. Okay, I'm a little hard right now. I went from 6 to 12 really fast, man.
I can tell you. So watch this. I'm gonna mute.
I'm gonna have to fuck with that.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to fuck with that.
That
tight. Sounds fucking dope. That sounds really modular.
Yeah.
I'm digging that. Okay. We're not down there.
Yeah. I muted my my podcast mic, so it'll be muted in the podcast. Be like, what the fuck's he talking about?
When do you anticipate either T&E or drops?
So we have to send samples off to Velocity System first. I think we're like 2 weeks out from having production samples sent out for 556, and then it'll be a couple weeks after till 30 cal. But yeah, for 556 we'll have something done in the next couple weeks. We're finishing up a tier 1 unit quote, a tender that we're just fulfilling right now. We had a group buy, which we're pumped about. And so I'm filling a military order because the unit that I'm working with decided to pretty much go one-off overt covert for each operator, so we're able to fulfill a unit order that way, and not go through tender.
Now, question for you on something like that. Were they custom orders? Like, did they ask you to configure something differently, or did they just look at what you had on site and said, we want 7 of these?
So it was actually for 2 light systems that we didn't currently offer, which is good and bad. They started with 1 light system that they're like, this is the way we're going to go. And then they changed it after we already finished the tooling. So, which is fine. Now we have it because I've had other requests for that combination in Europe. So it won't. And soft here in the U.S. is some unique soft units running the same setup as that, but
Okay.
they decided to move forward with a newer type of laser light system. So, and we already had the tooling done for that, so it was kind of a nice shift for us. But yeah, no, it's basically we ended up going one off because each person gets to pick like basically what color, what light system. So as long as it's a unique SKU for every operator, it's not, X. So when people do tenders, the one thing that people need to understand how like military buys work, or why it would go to tender or selection for the good, or what we call a contract, which you have to compare it to multiple other companies and you have to get prices and break it down, and then they have to pick based off of what's best plus what's most cost affordable. To avoid that, military units can use their credit card, and as long as it's under 10 grand, they can buy. As long as it's. Some people have told me it's like under a certain amount of quantity per SKU. So let's say it's a Glock 19 mag holder. It can only order 15 of those or has to go to tender. But if you create a unique SKU for each person, if they want a different camouflage or something like that, and you just break it down a little bit more, you can avoid going to tender. Military tender versus unit buy. Oh, it's a puppers.
Pupper over there too.
Yeah, little Oni.
See your big old pupper.
Oni, come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. Can you come?
Who's that? Who's that? Look right there.
See him?
Up.
See him?
Puppy.
Yeah. Oh, you're such a grumpy old man. Get out of here.
She's like fucking ADHD, man. She's running all over the place.
Oh my God. Yeah, I have a puppy coming soon on May 1st, and my dog's like almost 10 years old. He doesn't look like it, but he's almost 10. And he met a puppy in the neighborhood the other day and peed all over her. He was like,
now you own it, and now you own the puppy.
And now we own it. Now it's ours. So we have that puppy coming soon, and I'm just like, is he gonna pee all over her all the time, or like what? He's not a very territorial dog. He's pretty good with other dogs in the house, and like he's never been aggressive towards any other dog. He's dominated my wife's brother's dog. He's a total. Like the dog is like twice my dog size and will just roll on his back and pee all over himself, and my dog will pin him to the ground with his teeth. That's the only time I've ever seen my dog like do anything like that. Otherwise, my dog's just pretty much like, leave me the fuck alone. I'm old for this shit. So we do have a puppy coming. I'm super excited.
Kind of pup.
It's a Deutsch Kutzhaar, so it's a German lineage, German short hair pointer, and a lot of people see GSPs and they're like whiter bodied. The German line ones are like much darker. They're like a gray and white, super dark tick on the side, and then they have giant brown spots. So a darker animal compared to. I'm happy. Darker fur, it won't show up on things as much. So yeah, we're excited, man. I got sick and tired of borrowing people's hunting dogs to go hunting. And just like I need my own.
Yeah, I love my Jack Russell. She's awesome, but she's going crazy right now. She's super hyperactive all the time. She sheds like crazy. So she's more of the wired-haired Jack Russell. So I have to take her to go get her cut at least once a month because she sheds everywhere. And it's the tiny little micro hairs that just get embedded into everything. And I don't mind it, but when you're trying to go out and you're trying to, have some nice fancy black dark clothes, it gets everywhere, man. But whatever. Life of a dog owner.
We're lucky with him. His hair is black and it pretty much comes off of you if you just brush it off. So it's not unmanageable. You got a little anime waifu looking shirt on. You're such a dork. What anime are you watching right now, bro?
I don't have time to watch any TV, unfortunately. But since we're on the topic of anime, so this is a Dai Sentai t-shirt. They're a company out of LA. I've supported them for quite some time. They're awesome people. They make some dope clothing, very on the more sensual side of anime. But funny you should ask. I just got a package right now from this. And let me show you what it is, since we're on the topic. Now, it might freak you out, and I really hope it does,
Good.
because I'm all about freaking people out. So we're doing a collaboration, Triple Feed and Dicentai. And
Did they make the camouflage, by the way? Did Dicentai make that camouflage looking? It looks like manga.
No.
Okay.
No. I know what you're talking about. They don't do that. However, if I were to send them the pattern, I wouldn't doubt that they would do something with it. They usually do like streetwear, swag, hats, beanies, stuff like that. But take a step back.
Oh my God.
That is a. I think you know who that is.
Oh, that's you.
So this is going to be dropping real soon.
I'm gonna have to get one.
Oh yeah. That's design 1. Design 2.
Dude, you got some nice looking, little mosquito bites
milk
there.
Milk juggers. And then the second design. I think you're very familiar with this next one.
Casting couch.
So yeah, I mean, we'll be dropping these real soon. We just got to get some media for them and kind of hype them up a bit. But Dai Sentai, really cool people. Gotten along with them very well over the last few years. They make some really funny anime shirts, really cute stuff, very sensual stuff, but it's right up my alley, man.
You're such a dork.
Oh, dude. Oh, yeah. 100%.
Have you seen these ones?
I have. I know he did something, the artist did something for Ronin Tactics, right? I think they did a poster, a design for him.
Maybe.
I've seen his stuff. It's very like old school Japanese traditional style. It's very up your alley.
Yeah, I got them all back here. I got all the prints in the back.
What's the name of the company again?
So his name is James CRX. He's out of Belfast, Ireland.
He's a tattoo artist, isn't he?
Yeah, he's a tattoo artist out of Belfast. Super cool dude. He runs our holsters in Airsoft. Really
awesome.
So
love it.
Yeah, super rad dude. I actually got turned on to his stuff from a tier 1 dude over in the UK that likes to hype his shit. So that was cool. And he's like right down the street from where like my family was born and from in Belfast. So, we can reminisce about the old days.
Love it. Over Guinness or whiskey or something?
Well, not like that, but just like throwbacks. It's my family. So when I grew up, I'm an only child, but at 8 years old at the time, Belfast, Ireland was still pretty separated between Protestant and Catholic. And I grew up with roommates from 8 through 16 in my that stayed in my bunk beds in my room when I was a kid. And we basically host a Protestant and a Catholic kid every summer to like come over and stay with us. And so that they realize that they're the same fucking people. They're not, just because one's Prod and one's Catholic, there's nothing different between them. They just like different soccer teams at the end of the day, right? So I had roommates growing up, so that's why I'm good at sharing and playing nice, and I was a good roommate in college. But yeah, so we used to go over every other summer or so, and my parents would drop me off in Polglass, Northern Ireland, which is pretty fucking rough at the time. It was a lot better when we started going over, but I mean, I was 15, running from the peelers, which is like the cops and armored vehicles, like people throwing rocks at them and shit, being at the chippy up the street and then being like, oh, there was a accident down there and the peelers are down there and the fucking guy that owns the chippy handing golf clubs to the kids to go fight the police. Like, that's the kind of shit I grew up with.
But where did you grow up?
I was born and raised on Cape Cod, Massachusetts. So I'm a ocean kid.
Okay. I'm born and raised in Southern California, but I'm first generation here in the U.S. Everybody else, like my father, my mother, they're all from Mexico. So dad born in Tijuana actually, but his family's all from Michoacan. And then my mother, her family's from Jalisco, so I get a lot of the Jalisqueño, tapatio type, looks. My mom was a blonde hair, green eyed, thin lipped, pointy little European kind of look. She was very Spaniard almost.
Yeah.
It's really weird when you look at photos of her. I'm like, Dad, how the fuck did you land her? Like, my mom was hot. Like, dude, you look like this short little Indian. And they're like, oh, what the fuck, dude? So, now over the course of the years, as I get older, progressively older and older, and my facial hair starts growing out, I'm actually looking a lot like my dad. It's kind of fucking freaking me out, dude. Like, I'm like, no, I'm just not as olive skinned as he is. I'm right now, I'm kind of dark because I'm always out in the range or working, outside, but traditionally I'm pale as fuck, dude. I'm really, really, really pale.
Yeah, you definitely have the European side.
A little bit of the Euro in me, yeah, a little bit of the Euro in me. So, yeah, that's a little bit of bad, because a lot of people do ask me, like, where are you from? Where are you from? I'm like, fuck America, motherfucker. Where are you from? um, but my family is mostly all Hispanic, Mexican, and like I said, on my mom's grandmother's father's side, it's Spaniard.
Cool. Yeah, my mom's side is Irish and Polish, and my dad's side is 100% Portuguese. So I'm 50% Portuguese. Don't speak Portuguese. My dad came from the era of, we talked about this, but my dad came from the era of, he was born in the 50s. And if you spoke another language that wasn't English and you didn't act American, then you weren't American. So his parents are Portuguese, and him and his brothers and sisters never learned Portuguese because the parents wanted them to be Americans. So, and my dad, I think, always wanted to learn Portuguese, but anyway, we are diverging.
Did you ever try yourself?
What?
Did you ever try learning?
No. I just know how to say a lot of swears because I worked in the kitchen with a bunch of Brazilians for about 10 years. So
I think everybody tends to learn the swear words, the curse words first. I mean, Spanish was my first language. Hablo español muy bien. That was my first language. I didn't learn English until I was about kindergarten or almost first grade. I was put in ESL programs because at the time, like, this beaner doesn't know how to speak English, so let's just throw him in with the other beaners. So I grew up learning English from TV and radio. Like, that's how I learned. My family did not know. My dad and my mom, they spoke broken ass English. I'm talking like fucked up English. And to the day, my dad, I'm looking at my dad right now. I live with him. It's just him and I. It's just my pops and I. And he's older. He's 75, and he never really took it upon himself to go, I'm going to learn English. He just said, I'm just going to speak broken English. And if people don't like it, then oh well, that's just the way it is.
Oh well.
But for me, for instance, it's yo hablo español, lo puedo leer, lo puedo escribir. That's how I am. I'm like, I've always been that way. So a lot of people look at me and go, you're Spanish? I'm like, yeah, un poquito.
Now, are you teaching your son Spanish?
Oh yeah. Yeah, dude, my son is, if he doesn't speak Spanish with my pops or with, my other siblings, and hey, speak Spanish a little bit. Or we'll be in the car driving and I'll start talking to him in Spanish and he needs to answer me back in Spanish. If he doesn't answer me back in Spanish, I'm like, no, you're not getting what you want. Like, you need to speak to me in Spanish. So he needs to learn a little bit of Spanish, even if it's just some Spanish. He's not going to be forced to learn Spanish like I was, where like that's all I spoke was Spanish.
Right.
I didn't speak anything else. But he's learning it. He's learning it.
He's your little mini me.
Oh, dude, it's fucking crazy. All he's missing is this. That's all he's missing. Everything else is there.
And you guys have that insane, cool dynamic where you get him matching plate carriers and he goes on the range with you and does all that. That's super rad, dude.
I'm fortunate enough to grow up with, I grew up super poor, so I didn't know any of this stuff. Like, my dad was always working, my mom was always working, so I didn't have the opportunity to go out and do anything. It was always at home TV, or I would just escape and play with the neighborhood kids. So that's all I ever knew. And I've been blessed and afforded to be able to do a lot more stuff than I was fortunate enough to do when I was growing up. And everything that I'm doing now, I want to give it to my son. And I'm lucky enough that he actually enjoys those activities with me. And I'm not forcing him to do anything. He just takes it upon himself. He goes, Dad, when are we going to go do this, this, this? And it's all stuff that I like. So I'm like, well, let's go right now.
Right.
Like we're going camping in a week, and I've never actually officially took him camping, but I've been camping a few times, and he knows like I want to go camping. I'm like, all right, cool, let's do it. So
awesome.
yeah, we do a lot of activities together, a lot
Oh.
of father-son activities.
Well, that's awesome. So let's circle back to like Triple Feed. So Triple Feed is doing a lot of media. It's not just gun industry stuff. You're doing other industries. Now, I think I remember, did you quartermaster a show, or did you train people for like a TV show on firearms handling? I'm trying to remember, did you do any quartermaster work?
So we so this is prior to Triple Feed on my own. So one of the other things that I do, or one of my other many hats that I wear, and I didn't even mention this, is I am a firearms instructor through the state of California, through Post. So I'm actually a law enforcement firearms instructor for shotgun, rifle, and pistol. But I'm also a BSIS instructor, which is the equivalent to like the guard card firearms exposed permits. So I have those permits to be able to do that. And because of some of the people that I know here locally in LA, I've been hit up before to do odd end jobs like, hey, we just want to not look stupid when we hold a gun in front of the camera. Can you show us? I'm like, yeah, sure. So I've done some stuff before for some people that work in the industry. There's a female that works in a show called MacGyver, and she's the action military person character in that show, and I've actually did some training lessons with her in the past, and some other odd clients that asked me for some work. We're working with one dude right now. I really don't want to talk about it too much because it's kind of a secret project.
Yeah.
But we're helping him on the tactical industry side as well. He has some possibility to work a movie role in the near future, and they asked him to look tacticooler. So we're trying to help him look tacticooler without, because he has no experience with firearms, like zero experience outside of, he went shooting his uncle's shotgun. So we've tapped into that a little bit.
Cool. Yeah. So have we. We work with a couple prop shops, but primarily ISS Props out of Hollywood, and that new Winter Soldier Falcon show that just launched on Disney Plus. We did the holsters for that show.
Awesome.
We've done holsters for a couple movies where the actors and actresses are using them in the movie for action scenes, but then it gets to the close-ups and they have a pistol tucked in their pants and you're just like, what the fuck? So we did that Jennifer Garner one where she's like, she dies and then doesn't actually die and then comes back to avenge her murdered child or something like that. Yep. We did that one. Liam Neeson and The Honest Thief, we did holsters for that movie. I just shipped out. We do a lot for like UK too, so we got a new show coming out on Netflix in the next year or two that we just did holsters for. So we do a lot of Hollywood stuff, and that's Bosch season 6, Bosch's holster in season 6. That's an ANR design holster, and then we did Chicago PD, Chicago Fire, all of those. Most of the cops in that show in the more recent seasons have our stuff. So
awesome.
Kind of funny, kind of weird. Sometimes we'll get prop guns that show up and we'll actually use the real prop guns to make the holsters. There's another prop shop that we did the last Godzilla movie. We did all like the laser blasters that especially
you did the holsters for the laser blasters.
Yeah, we did the holsters for the laser blasters. So we had like these weird 3D printed, weird fucked up looking guns that we had to create, holsters for. And a lot of times like, they're 3D printed, so going into a press and all this other shit will fuck them up. So we have to get like the finished good and then like refit everything afterwards. Yeah. We did the holsters for, what's the fucking one with the chick that looks like the Joker?
Not you talking about the Suicide Squad girl?
Yeah, we did them for the
Birds of Prey.
Yeah, not Birds of Prey, but I think there might be more Suicide Squad things down the line. But yeah, we've done more holsters for that stuff.
I'm gonna mute myself because somebody's gonna turn on the.
Did you say turn on the blender? That's okay. Yeah, so we just do holsters for other movies and stuff like that. But I think that's pretty rad. Yeah, I think that chick for MacGyver, I remember seeing her on your feed back. It was that kind of basement looking shooting range that you shoot at a lot. Doing training there, so that's super rad. So moving forward with triple feed, is there any industries outside of the firearms industry that you want to penetrate? I'm gonna use the word penetrate. And don't you give me that look. Um, and if so, what solutions do you have, or at least like gun industry side? Do you think there's gun industry type content that could be useful for other industries and bringing that style of shooting media and bridging it
Um,
over?
Honestly, the two, because we're such we're so in our infancy stage right now that we kind of want to focus on something that we're really really good at, and
Right.
what we're really really good at, what we have an eye for, is on the media side, is making the content look cool and different from everybody else. So we don't want to steal people's looks, uh, or if we do kind of borrow from somebody's looks, it has to have a combination of our style, our flair. And thus far, most of our videos that we've had edited, and when I say we like I'm French, it's Luis is doing most of the hard labor when it comes to the editing side. Um, we have our own flair and our own look, and a lot of companies have enjoyed that thus far. So we still want to focus on the gun tactical side. However, back to what you were talking about, the whole Hollywood stuff, that's something that we're working on right now. We're pushing on at least two different people that we're working with on the side, and they're enjoying it thus far. So we've done content for them, photo stills that they produce um, to the directors or to the producers, the movie producers or the TV producers. They show them our content. They go, this is me holding a gun. This is me clearing a room. This is what I look like. So we've been playing with that. But again, we don't limit ourselves to just the 2A industry. Again, back to what Luis was doing yesterday. He's doing a music video for like a heavy metal rock group. We do photo shoots for construction companies that want to do, they want to showcase their new properties that they're going to be selling, or investors that want to, sell property. So we've done shit like that. But that's not sexy. It's not cool. It's not something that we advertise on a daily. Um, for the most part, the stuff that we push hard and push heavy when it comes to the media side is the 2A industry, because we love it. It's something that I live every day. I live and breathe firearms and tactics and military law enforcement. That's what we do. I mean, that's what I do for a living. I carry a damn gun for a living. So we're trying to focus on that, make sure that our foot is in the door, and thus far we're having a really good time with it.
Good, good. And Luis is an awesome dude. You have a great team.
Yep.
I definitely have talked to him before that trip to Texas. Like, I feel like
You have.
okay, I feel like maybe Circle Bar or
You have. No, 100% you have. He's a Vegas local. He's been raised there pretty much all his life. Um, he was actually born in Mexico, but he came over really, really young, and he's been living in Vegas all his life. So he is a Vegas native, and I think you've actually met him a bunch of times, either be it SHOT Show or somewhere in
yeah,
Vegas.
he's a
But
quieter
he
guy.
he's a quieter guy, he's very quiet. Minds his own unless he needs to speak. But then once you have him speaking, like, you can't stop him.
Oh,
So
he's great. What a nice
he's an
guy.
awesome dude. He is definitely family. We clicked instantly when we first met. And then the other guy, B Dub, we call him B Dub, or BW. He former Air Force CCT. He's actually still CCT, but now it's on the Air National Guard level. So he kind of went from active, many years of doing active, to now doing it on the reserve side. And he's also a woodworker. He owns his own woodworking company, Rustic Saw, and he does like counter tabletops, and he does epoxy. He does installs for kitchen cabinets and whatnot. Like, that's his primary focus, I guess. That's one of his many specialties. But triple feed is his baby as well. Like, the three of us are triple feed.
That's cool.
Triple feed isn't triple feed without one. I mean, if we're missing one, it's not really. There's an inside joke. It's like, oh, Gerry's not there. It's a double feed production. Then I'm like, all right, cool. Or Luis isn't there. Yep, double feed. Hashtag double feed. So we like to have all of us together to do stuff, because usually when all three of us get together, we get very creative with everything we do.
That's awesome. Yeah, and it was cool because Luis had a friend at that event in Texas. My videographer Jorge and Luis are actually pretty good friends. So
Yep.
when Jorge saw Luis there, he was fucking pumped up.
Good. I love it.
So,
Jorge's a good guy, man. That was the first time I met your video guy, and we clicked pretty well. And him and Luis were just geeking out. Yeah, they've known each other for quite some time, longer than you and I have known each other, I think.
I think so.
So yeah, it was really, it's a small world, man. It's a really small world. It's like, yeah, I know Alex. I'm like, yeah, did you know that I know Alex's video guy? I'm like, fuck, dude, like that's weird. It's so weird.
They actually wanted to start a podcast like 5 or 6 years ago together or something like that. They had Delusions of Grandeur together. So, but now they get to work together in a different capacity, you know?
They do. They absolutely do.
So, did you guys enjoy that hunt that we were on? We actually
did.
Let's not call it a hunt. Did you guys enjoy that event that we went to where we did kill some things?
We hunted.
Okay.
Our group hunted. We probably slayed more pigs or hogs than anyone else. Now, granted, we had a smaller group, so we weren't making all this noise and fucking around, which is cool and all. But I was there to hunt pigs and kill pigs. Like, this is the first time I'd ever done that.
Yeah.
I've gone hunting in another capacity, but never what we did there, you know. And we had a ton of fun. I think the biggest thing is we got to meet a bunch of dope people, a lot of people that we got to finally put faces to, you know, company names. We got to feel out the crowd, and we had a really good time. I didn't feel that anybody had an ego there. Everybody was cool and responsive. I'd walk up to people and, hey, what's up, man? I'm Gerry. You know, nice to meet you guys. And everybody was really cool with each other. It was a little bit more expensive than I anticipated, but whatever. We're a startup company, and you know, at the end of the day, it's like it's gonna be a tax write-off. Whatever, I'm cool with that. But I like, would I do it again? Hell yeah, I would. I had a lot of fun. You know, thank you. You know, Matt was the one that kind of put it all together and just started inviting people, and everybody he invited was the right type of crowd. So I really enjoyed it a lot, dude. And I got to see, you know, I got to see my Alex. So I mean, that's always a win-win. That's always a win-win for me, man, when I get to see Alex.
Pound sign blessed. Yeah, man, it was cool. Like, and I told some people that have never been hunting before, like, this is not hunting, this is pest control. You're, you know, even if you are driving and stalking pigs, at the end of the day, it's still not hunting. It's the equivalent of like a fucking video game. It's the equivalent of like being in like Rainbow Six and rolling up on, you know, a couple dudes standing around a campfire with rifles, and then you just fucking unload on them. Like that's like the closest equivalent to like what you can compare hunting pigs to, is probably spooky dudes sneaking up on dudes just farting around kind of deal.
It's funny though, because B-Dub is an avid hunter. Like, he hunts seasonally for weeks on end. He'll be gone for a week, and we don't have any comms with him. Besides when he gets up on top of the tower and he gets his sat phone, he gives us a call and he goes, "Hey, I'm good, don't worry.
Yeah.
I'm tracking right now." I'm like, "All right, cool." He does legit hunting. Like, he goes out and he does bow hunting, and he does, you know, bolt gun hunting, and he does tracking, and he does it all. Every kind of animal that you could possibly get a tag for, he's done or does do it. So he coming from that side, he even enjoyed it. He's like, dude, it was a lot of fun. It was different, but it was a lot of fun.
It's different for sure.
Yeah, it's definitely different. But I mean, we got to take home some of the meat, some of the spoils, and it was really good, dude. Like, we prepared it very, very well. I know a lot of people are talking, "Oh, that's nasty. Those are fucking nasty feral fucking hogs." Well, just don't cut into the areas that aren't supposed to be eaten.
Yeah,
you know, we just some back straps and we cooked them up. We actually prepared them pretty damn well, and dude, it was some really tasty fucking meat, man. I'm still alive.
Yeah, it's you know, honestly, like, people that hunt pigs, that do eat them, it's usually like earshot it, a one-shot drop, so it doesn't dump adrenaline into its muscles, which usually makes it tougher. So if you drop like a year and a half old female with an ear shot, generally when you strap it out or ham it out, it's not bad, especially if it's prepared correctly. So that's kind of where it is, where people are like, oh, do you keep the pigs that you shot? It's like, no, most of them, someone gets gut shotted and they run 60 meters and you still drop them. Like, oh, well, what happens to them? Dude, it's fucking Texas. They're going to be gone by the next day.
Oh, yeah.
Other pigs will eat them, the buzzards, the vultures, the crows, the hawks, the bobcats, the fucking coyotes. It all gets consumed. It's gone. Nothing is wasted by the environment. But yeah, it was a really cool trip. I'm actually going back to see the Texan Ammo guys in a couple weeks. I'm gonna go visit them, go spend time on their ranch, and do some low. And Matt might go if he can get time off work, but we're gonna just kick it low key and get a little bit more night vision thermal content on pigs that we didn't get on this last trip. Which is fine. I want more time under thermal, because thermal hunting's cool. It's different, for sure. And
we had actually taken some thermals, some L3 thermals from Night Vision Inc. They had loaned us some thermals, and we were supposed to zero them and get them ready. And because we got them at such short notice, we didn't have time to zero them, and we didn't have the laser bore. We didn't have time. We didn't have anywhere to fucking zero. I mean, you were there.
Yep.
When did we have time to get on gun and make sure our optics were fucking zero? We had none.
There's none.
We had none. Luckily we had already zeroed our lasers, our red dots.
Yeah.
But we didn't have time to zero our thermal, and we had gone at last minute. So the only thing we were using our thermal for was to track, to observe where the groups were, and then we kind of just threw on our nods and said, okay, we see dots. We know that those dots are the hogs. Let's aim for the neck, or let's aim for the fucking temple area, and hope and pray that we drop them with 1 or 2 shots. And we got lucky. We actually did.
Yeah. It's I'm lucky. I zeroed my gun on my own property, which is cool. Yeah, you guys kind of sucks that you live in California and it's hard to go, BLM land or whatever.
Well, we were in Nevada when we got the got the thermals. However, we got them literally a day before we had to leave,
and
so we just
tough.
didn't have time.
People don't understand like what the process is to zero a thermal as well. If it's really warm out and you're using warm targets, you can't see the targets through the thermal. And then if you're shooting paper, which is usually recommended, and you usually want like a thicker backstop to shoot through, because the bullet leaves an actual trace witness. You see a little ring on the thermal. And then like I run a Pulsar XP50 Thermion. So when I shoot a shot, I can see where it was, and then I can hit freeze, and I can freeze my screen. I can move my X and Y to move my reticle to that hole, and then I unfreeze, and then I'll shoot another shot. And if it goes through the same fucking hole, I know it's zeroed. So I can usually zero a thermal within 2 or 3 shots, which is pretty awesome. And that's a really cool capability of modern day thermals that a lot of people don't know about. So it's one of those things, man. It's like thermals are next level, and they're fucking awesome. And we're gonna have to do a video on thermals, because I think thermals and night vision scare a lot of people. They're afraid to get into it, but once you're into it, it's awesome.
I'm gonna sit outside. I'm blessed.
It's beautiful out.
Oh, it's fucking gorgeous.
So, man, anything else you really want to talk about? Tell anyone that's listening that might be interested in Triple Feed, the stuff that you're putting out, what to look forward to in the future.
Want to talk about quickly about the little project that we had going on with the Mighty Crom. So about 2-3 weeks ago, we hosted a small little charity event for the Mighty Crom and his mother. We flew him in from their home state. I'm not going to mention where they're from, and we just kind of let the kid have fun with firearms. The whole purpose and reason behind that was a little backstory behind it. Crom was posting TikTok videos with Nerf guns and airsoft guns, and if you actually saw the videos, his manipulations were better than some people that shoot in the industry, better than some law enforcement and military dudes that I've seen. And yeah, they were airsoft guns and they were Nerf guns. The kid doesn't have access to real guns. He suffers from autism and a few other conditions, so he's not allowed to own firearms. So he posted these videos, and then he started getting bullied online by a lot of people. A lot of people in the military, a lot of people in law enforcement, and a lot of people in the 2A community. And honestly, I I don't stand for bullying, dude. Bullying is fucking bullshit. It really is. Bullying is fucking stupid. Anybody that does or participates in any form of bullying, particularly from kids, dude, is just fucked up. Like you could eat a double dick sandwich, dude. And I just don't fall. I don't like that. So Triple Feed Boys and I reached out to Dependent Diaries and U.S. Gun Bunker. They had already reached out to the family, and we asked them if they could put us in contact with him and the family, and we kind of just got them all together and flew them out to Vegas to enjoy a 3-day trip out here and shoot guns, train. I mean, the kid showed us a lot of stuff. Like he was really, really proficient with firearms, as you saw in the video. But we couldn't have done it with a lot of people that contributed towards this. Like this was an expensive event, man, and we're a startup company. We're nobody. We're a big nobody. And we had people from like the special projects community that donated money. We had gear companies that donated gear. You were one of them that donated a holster. We just wanted to show the kid a good time, and so that's something that in the near future we might start doing a little bit more, is like charity events for people that are less fortunate. We truly enjoyed it. Like we had a fucking blast, dude. It was almost just as good for us as it was for him. Like he was smiles from ear to ear, but we felt so good at the end. We're like, wow, dude, like I want to do this more. It really
Yeah.
made me feel really good. And we didn't profit from it. Like monetary wise, we did not profit. Like we came out of pocket on a lot of this stuff. But we really didn't care because we genuinely enjoyed our time with Crom. And his mother was just a blessing. She was nothing but awesome to us. And we want to start doing a little bit more of this stuff. Don't know how often we could do it because we do have set schedules that are very, very busy. But
Yeah.
start looking out for stuff like this. Like we might start posting about charity events in the near future, or more stuff that we're going to start doing. And I'm going to pick your brain on some of this stuff as well, because it's like, this is really new to me. It's kind of foreign to me, but I'm enjoying it. I'm really, really enjoying it. So that's one of the things that we're doing. Again, we're gonna be pushing the DSM a little bit harder, because I still feel that a lot of people don't even know that the DSM exists.
Right.
So we're going to be doing that, and a lot of media. Dude, we're going to be doing a lot of media moving forward. We have a lot of contracts lined up with companies that are really, really dope people. And we just want to start producing a bunch of dope ass media for people.
Awesome. Yeah, man. So Crom, now that I'm remembering, he was the kid that he had the Nerf gun and he was doing mag changes with a Nerf gun, right? And he was kind of showing it off in his like handmade holster that he had for it.
Yep.
And yeah, people were bullying him. Yeah, bullying is super shitty. There's a guy, a customer of ours, his name's Dave. And Dave and he would always message in and ask questions and all kinds of stuff. And Dave has one of those recessive, I wouldn't call it recessive gene, I forget the actual thing, but like the very Neanderthal look that some people have, he has that gene. It's a rare gene that not a lot of people have. You just have a more, a throwback look, essentially, physically.
Yeah.
And he's a gigantic human, and he was running around the range doing awesome content, shooting like 10 different angles, and he was pumping great content out for our holsters and stuff. And we appreciate it. I repost all the time. And one day, a bunch of people just got on him, telling him he looks like a caveman and all this other shit. Super rude, awful shit. And the guy's like going out of his way to like pimp our company and tell us
Yep.
like how awesome we're doing. And he's just such a good dude. So I got pissed. What I did was I fucking screenshotted it and I put it up and I said, you know what? You guys bullied him. I'm hooking him up. And I hooked him up with probably $1,000 in kit. Like anything he wanted, colors, just pick everything out. We'll build you everything you need. We'll give you access to all the super exclusive shit that we do as well. Anything you need. And then gave him like a permanent discount code moving forward. And poor guy lost a limb a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. He got into a motorcycle accident and lost the better part of from the knee down on one of his legs. So he's been going through a lot, but fucking that guy is such a nice human. And I think a bunch of Instagram friends of his who support him actually like made the journey to visit him in the hospital and everything like that. And you know, he says like that kind of love for him saved his life, because I mean I can't imagine losing a limb and going from like this he's a unit too, like the dude works out pretty heavily. But I gotta catch up with him. I haven't talked to him in a while, but dude, fuck bullying. I was just like, you guys gonna bully him, I'm gonna hook him up and you guys are gonna look like chumps. So
yeah, well, the community shut the fuck up after the video dropped, and after people saw how proficient Crom is on gun. Like, this kid can fucking shoot, and he's shot guns before, but never to this extent. And he was just a natural, man. He was an absolute natural. I had to tell him once how to do something, and he would just absorb it. And like, he'd look at me off to the side and go, "You're not doing what you told me to do." I'm like, "Fuck, you're right, dude." Like, I'm digressing from what I'm telling you to do as an instructor. And he's like, I'm like, "I'm sorry, Crom. I'm gonna do it the right way." And he's a fucking natural. It's like when you really thrive at something that you really fucking love doing, and that was him. Like, socially, he might be a little awkward. It didn't bother me because fucking socially, I'm a fucking dweeb, dude. I'm an awkward motherfucker socially. So, and like, him and I clicked like really well, and he clicked very well with the rest of the Triple P boys. Him and Luis they became best friends. Him and B Dub were just joking and laughing and grab assing the whole time. It's like, it came super natural, and we loved it, dude. So again, yeah, fuck bullying. I'm not for it. I don't stand for it. It's one thing like amongst friends to talk shit, because we do this. Like, you and me talk shit all the time, but this kid doesn't. You don't fucking know him, and you're over here talking shit because he sounds different, or he has a fucking accent, or because he can't afford guns like you fucking can. Like, fuck you, man.
You know, so, at the end of the day, why discriminate against anyone? Why discriminate against a group of people? You know, there has been, that's the one thing about the gun community that I really don't like, is it's like 50% religious bullshit, and then 50% is cool. And then in between, you have all these opinionated dickheads on the internet. And, you know, there's companies that blatantly discriminate towards entire groups and collectives of people just because they think it's funny or they think it's cool. But at the end of the day, like, I'm a businessman. I might be an engineer. I might be a shooter. At the end of the day, everyone's money is green. Not in a greedy sense, but in the sense that why would you discriminate and hurt yourself within a certain community of people just to say something ignorant or rude or bullying or bigoted to like make a certain section of your following happy? Like, why alienate anyone? That's fucking stupid. Like, why say anything stupid or bigoted online, or bully or tag, you know, jump on you know, the train of making fun of a certain someone? Like, it's stupid. And you know, that's just one way to alienate your brand within an entire community. And fuck it, if you do that, you know, that's your own business, but it's horrible business practice. You know, things that we don't do. You'll never see us compare ourselves to another company. You'll never see us hold up a holster of another company and say, this is why we don't do this, because this sucks. Like, you'll never see us shame another company on our page for, like, shame another competitor or something like that. You know, if I pick up a gun and this is what I don't like about this gun, well, I don't make guns, right? People want to know what I like. You know, I shoot around 55,000 rounds a year. People want to know my opinion of a firearm. I don't know why. I don't know why anyone thinks I'm cool or anything or wants to listen to me, but apparently people do. So I try to give them my O2 on something. But yeah, man, fuck bullying and fuck companies that alienate people, dude. It's stupid.
Yeah, I agree. 100% agree. Real quick, I'm gonna have to go to work in a bit. one of my many hats that I wear. But I want to thank you again, Alex. I mean, you've always been a stand-up dude. You've always been a dope company. You just as a person, as a human, I've always loved you. You know that. Thank you for having me on your podcast. I really appreciate it. I'm humbled, man. Quick shameless plug. Go follow us on triple feed underscore. I'm sorry, triple underscore feed. That's our IG account. Follow us at www.triple-feed.com. We have the DSM still. We're going to be closing out the DSMs real soon because we need to catch up on orders. Once we catch up on orders, we're going to open up the DSMs again permanently. We have swags, we have stickers. If you need media, hit us up. We got some dope dudes that we do media with. Again, I appreciate it. Thank you so much, man. Love you. Let's talk real soon. Let's hang out real soon, dude.
Definitely. Absolutely. Yeah, thank you for having me. I love you. You're a great dude, great human. We always get along. We can't stop fucking talking because we're both idiots. But dude, have a good, safe day at work. Thank you for being on episode 2 of the ANR Design Unholstered podcast with Alex, me, this fucking idiot that people apparently want to listen to. But yeah, dude, have a wonderful day and hope your dad has a wonderful day and enjoy your weekend.
Cheers, brother. We'll be in contact soon.
Awesome. Thank you.